Hi, Sagittarius rising. Here is your weekly forecast starting on the 28th of April until the 4th of May. So, welcome back to my channel. I think you are in the midst of a significant shift. To understand where we are going, we have to recognize that internal rearrangement you have been undergoing. Last week, Venus met Uranus in your sixth house, the house of daily habits, work, and you likely felt a sudden, perhaps disruptive eureka moment regarding your health or your schedule. Maybe you felt a bit itchy that you wanted to get out of work. You were pushed to detach from old ways of working that was burning you out. Now, as we move into this current sequence of planetary energies, the energy is shifting rapidly from daily grind to relational depth. You are being asked to take that new sense of personal efficiency and apply it to the people who matter most. Why is that? Because Venus made a conjunction to Uranus and then it shifts into Gemini and makes a sextile to Neptune. And then this week it's making a trine to Pluto and Juno and a sextile to Saturn as well. So this is a sequence. It is pretty much bringing up that mini grand trine that is happening between the outer planets. So that trine to Pluto and Juno, it's a transformative alignment. Venus is transiting your seventh house, the house of committed partnership, and it feels like that we are if we experience certain type of chaos, for example, that's all about talking it out. This is the power of words, the power of communication, potentially even contractual agreement. It's the voice within your partnerships. So you are not just talking to someone, you are excavating truth. With Juno also sitting in your third house, you are entering a new way of commitment when it comes to communication or a contract or a pact that demands radical honesty. It really feels like that it's not necessarily about just keeping the peace mentality anymore. You're stepping into a more authentic way of connecting. It feels like that you have promised something to yourself, or even it can be that someone promised something to you. And it's not necessarily just about agreeing on everything, it's about understanding the why behind the other person's perspective as well. If you have been avoiding a difficult conversation with a partner or a close business associate, then it's about time to have those conversations. Your words are carrying now that extra power you need. It's also reminding you with Saturn in the fifth house that you are meant to be speaking from the heart, but also let's keep that mind very sharp. It might be you committing to certain type of studies, for example, that's also highly possible as well. However, Venus is actually making a square to the nodes, and that happens in your fourth and tenth house, and that's a bit of a tension there. This is a classic tension between your public success and your private sanctuary. It's about maybe you are at a crossroad where you have to choose whether you are going to be people pleasing, for example, you are going to be collaborating one with someone, or you are going to be choosing kind of like working alone. You might feel tempted to sacrifice your home peace or family life to win in your career, to get ahead in your career. And you might even worry that if you aren't visible or achieving something, then others are going to be seeing you as a failure. Hebe also enters your seventh house this week as well, and she's the archetype of youthful service. So she changes the game there pretty much because it's about you stop trying to force your relationship to fit into your professional timeline or start looking at how partnership can be a form of support rather than just a burden. So if you feel the stress of public expectations and that's rising, pause instead of overworking yourself or overworking, ask yourself, how can I be a better partner to my family, for example? Hades energy bring that light, playful, service-oriented touch to your closest bonds. So it's a little bit like bringing back that youthful energy into my relationships, and that's exactly what Uranus also wants you. That's what Venus wants you as well. All these energies are really about highlighted, not highlighted, light-hearted type of energies. And maybe, yes, you have got a lot of work to do, you have got family responsibilities. But if we want the relationship to be spiced up, we need to embrace that light-hearted energy. And it also feels like that with Hebe, which is a service industry related energy, it's sometimes just, I'm going to be doing something small to my partner. It's better to be present with your inner circle than to be perfect on the world stage, in my opinion. Now we have got the Mercury and Chiron conjunction as well. And both of them are currently in your fifth house, the house of creativity, children, and romance. So the fifth house is the engine of your spirit, really. This conjunction is a healing moment. You may need to speak a truth about your inner child or a creative wound that you have been keeping quiet. Maybe there are certain things that your romantic partner does to you, or the way they treat you, and then that somehow bugs you. Mercury is your relationship planet. So maybe this is about having to spice up the relationship when it comes to the intimacy department. Because the seventh house ruler is in the fifth. Maybe it's about certain type of discussions that we have to be having, how I would like intimacy to be happening, that we need more fun in our relationships. And then Mercury moves into your sixth house and it's going to be grounding your thoughts. You are moving from healing your joy to building a container for it. And then we introduce certain type of regularity in it. So if that Mercury wants to pursue a hobby in the fifth house, then you might be afraid to show the world. But once Mercury hits that sixth house, then the mind becomes more practical, and therefore we are organizing our projects, we are finalizing a work task, or have that deep grounded conversation with that coworker or with your romantic partner, and that could lead to a system upgrade. Shiva enters your fifth house also this week. So that Aries energy is super big, right? And even the moon goes out of bound in your first house, and that's your territory. So you might feel that electric urge to be seen, to travel, to change your look, or scream your intentions from the rooftop. And with asteroid Shiva going into your fifth house also, I mean, Shiva represents transformative destruction. So this is the destruction of all creative blocks, but through direct action. So I think you are going to be very hyperactive. You are ready or be ready for sudden impulses to take risk. Shiva in your fifth house, don't just think about your passion projects. It says initiate them. It might even destroy some of your creative projects that you have started on, and it kind of gives you new ones. This energy is quite sharp, bold, and ready for you to take the lead. So I think you're moving from this relationship reset or you're starting with this relationship reset at the start of the week. And then we have got this bit of professional private tug of war. But it feels like by the end of the week, you are in that creative self-expression, bold type of mode. I think the universe is asking you to get serious about your truth. You are building a life that supports your freedom, not one that restricts you. Don't let the fear, don't let the fear of being too much hold you back. Keep your aim high, and I will see you in my next video. Take care. Bye bye.